I've got that again. It's 10:30, and so our host is on. So without wasting a whole lot of time, I am so excited to have my people. So she is definitely my people. And I hope that I'm not going to embarrass her by telling you that what do you call me, Rheanna? I'm your not your am I your not your work husband? What do you what do you say I am?
Yeah, Rheanna husband.
I'm your Rheanna husband. Okay. And thank goodness Jesse appreciates that. And my wife was okay with that also. There are no benefits. It's just that we support each other, right? So um again, it's crazy. So we see that they're a little slow to jump on today, but we don't want to delay because again, we've all got busy schedules, I'm sure. And so I'm so proud and I'm so thankful that you've honored me with and honored us with a few minutes of your time today. And I'm anxious to hear the message today. So, uh, sweetheart, the floor is yours. So.
Thank you, Ben, so much for asking me to do this and for having me on. I'm grateful for the opportunity. And, when you asked me, I guess it was back in Bold at the end of last year when you first asked me, I was thrilled at the opportunity. And yet I was a little nervous because not knowing what I wanted to talk about, because you've had so many amazing people on this panel over the months and years that you've been doing it. And it's hard to come up with stuff that maybe hasn't been heard before. And so I was kind of picking my brain on what to talk about. And then life happened for me. And I got a punch in the gut towards the end of last year, which kind of actually ended up being a blessing because it gave me something to talk about today that was probably different than what everyone else has spoken about. So I'll share a little bit about what happened at the end on December 27th of 2022. I had a heart attack. I'm 45, and I eat very well. I exercise. So it was one of those flu things that was 100% brought on by stress. And since then, I in talks with my doctor and everything, there is nothing medically that can be done to repair the damage that's been done to my heart. The only way it will heal is by reducing all of my stress. So since then, I've been on this journey of kind of reevaluating my life and relooking at things. And, us being in the industry that we are, we're all very entrepreneurial. And a lot of times we can kind of get tunnel vision on what our goals are. And we're just full steam ahead of what we want to accomplish, and we're high achievers in doing all of that. And the same token, when we have our blinders on, we're not really taking the time to be still and analyze, and our mind and spirits tend to suffer, which is where I was and still am. So the topic that I'm talking about today is something that I'm actively working through and working on. And I hope that you guys will find value in it and may be able to take some takeaways. So I've taken some time just over the last few weeks. I got away for a weekend just by myself, and I read a book, Stillness is Key. The author, I don't have it in front of me, is Rheanna Avila. If you've read any of his books, he is a great author, and he's a stoic thinker. If you've read his books, you know what that means. But in the book of Stillness is Key, he talks about, let me get my notes here. Bear with me. he talks about just there's some key things with your mind and spirit to be mindful of. And this was something that I had kind of lost sight of when I had my tunnel vision. And a lot of the stress that I had, it was instead of being intentional about or even present, I was kind of just escaping. I would, you know, in my downtime, I would watch a lot of TV, mindless TV, just so I can escape my reality and not have to think. And I wasn't processing things. And so outwardly, I had mastered a lot of things, and outwardly, I looked very calm and put together. Yet internally, in my mind and spirit, I was kind of dying on the inside, which then showed up as the heart attack. And so in my journey in reading The Stillness is Key, I learned a lot about myself. And on your mindset, slowing down and having times of silence is key. And I don't know if you're doing that in your business or in your life. I have made it a practice just in the last few weeks to carve out time every single week to do that. And it has brought so much clarity into my life. It also forces me to hold that mirror up to my face and really look at things that I subconsciously am not aware of. Or that's going on, and it forces me to deal with it, and it's forcing me to grow and change and think differently about how I'm approaching my goals and taking more of a holistic approach. The other thing on being mindful is being present and in the moment. I've noticed over the years, and I'm making this really personal, I hope it hits home. I try to, in everything I do, bring authenticity, because we're all humans and we're not perfect. Outwardly, we may look like we have it all together, and inside we're just hot messes. So I'm happy to share that I'm a hot mess. I will wear that badge of honor. So, but being present and in the moment, you know, I practice yoga every single day. What was happening is I was on autopilot. And so that was my time to have my mind racing all over the place. And I wasn't really being present and in the moment when I was doing my yoga. Like, no wonder I was so stressed out and my blood pressure was through the roof, because my mind just constantly would not stop. I'm a classic overthinker. Yet I've been practicing being present, and it is a practice. It's not something that comes naturally for those of us that tend to be high achievers, because we're always thinking about the next thing. And so I've worked every single day, and some days are better than others when it comes to that. But just being present, even if it's for a small portion of the day, taking that time to be present in that moment, whether it's with your family, while you're exercising, that time by yourself, you will find that so de-stressing and powerful, because you're enjoying that moment in time. We tend to have our phones out or constantly on the phone and not being mindful of our life, and it's just zipping by. The other thing about that I learned that he talks about, Ryan Halliday talks about in the book, is your spirit. And you've really got to work. We all have our limiting beliefs, and we talk about those a lot in our journey in real estate and our careers, and just you have to kind of overcome your limiting beliefs and move beyond that. Yet we do, I'm finding out just now that I've started on this journey, since my life changed, that there's still some healing that I need to do from my inner childhood. That weekend that I took away and spent with myself, I discovered some things that I thought maybe I had moved past it. And the reality is I hadn't. And so just being mindful of those things in your life, they can sneak up on you. I mean, I'm 45, and, you know, I feel like I know some of you, your journey is probably wiser than mine, and you've got more life experience as well. Yet I feel like I've come a long way, but then life will just punch you in the gut and you're like, wow, I'm not as far along as I thought I was. And spending that time to really reflect. And so one of the things that I've done to help with that is I've hired a life coach. I not only have a business coach in my world to hold me accountable to reach my goals, I now have a life coach that is working with me to kind of work through some of the things that I thought I was over, and obviously I'm not. Just to kind of look at where my blind spots are. Even it's nice to have someone in your world that can point out blind spots, because that's the only way we get better and can heal and move forward. And one of the quotes from the book that I absolutely love, and I've heard this before, is we are human beings, not human doings. How often do we spend time just being instead of just going from doing to doing? And that's where I was before I had my heart attack. I was a human doing and just not taking time to just be. And so I want to challenge you guys today on all of these things, that for us to be successful in our careers and our lives, to have the big lives that we want to have, we not only have to be driven with our goals for our businesses, we also have to look at our mind, body, and spirit and ensure that those are being well taken care of and spending time on that. Otherwise, your body will force you, like it did mine, to take it as a wake-up call. I'm grateful that I'm still here, and then I have the opportunity to change and grow, because at this point, if I don't change and grow, the alternative is I'm not going to be here anymore. So learn from my lessons, I guess. And it was just more kind of on the personal note today, not business, but that's where my heart was. And I'm grateful that I'm here to be able to share with you kind of my journey and be vulnerable about what I'm learning as I'm going through this, because I'm actively working through all of this right now. And as I said, I'm a work in progress, and I'm an open book when it comes to that, because that's just who I am. And I believe that we can all learn something from somebody, and we learn more from people's vulnerability than we do from them trying to show how great they are. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you, Ben.
Sweetheart, I can't thank you enough. I will tell you that I can assure you that someone got something from this today, just by being open, vulnerable, admitting to being a hot mess, right? So we can learn and grow from that. And again, I feel so fortunate that these folks who are on this call and those who didn't make it today, they're part of my tribe. They're part of my family. And I will say that don't hesitate to reach out to me or anyone on this call when you just need. I'm so thankful that you're part of my tribe, and I loved our lunch the other day, and I know Kelly's on this call, Steve is on this call, Tia's on this call. There's so many on this call that are there to help, and Christina, Patrice, Ryan, and again, I enjoyed lunch last week. They know that I'm a hot mess, and going through the loss of my mother. I've needed to lean on my people. And my point here is, don't be afraid to lean. I think that I'm big and bad, right? And I'm so strong. And yet, no, I'm so weak and in need of strength that I derive from my tribe and for others. So don't hesitate if you're feeling that way, because we think we're big, we're bad, and we don't need. And it's like, no, we do need. So thank you for sharing that. Thanks for opening your heart. And we're here to support you on the remainder of this journey. So we're not going anywhere. And good Lord willing, you're not either. Right.
Yes, that's the goal.
Amen. Amen. So
I don't do anything halfway. So
right.
the heart attack, same thing. I'm not going to be halfway about anything I accomplish in my life.
No, you're not, man. You're all in. So again, thank goodness with this one, because again, we understand how fortunate we are, because most probably don't make it to present in front of this audience today. And we're so glad that you're here. Guys, I appreciate you joining in each and every week. And We are meeting next week, but not the following week, because many on this call will be in Anaheim. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. And again, unless you have something else that you want to leave us with, boom, let's go out and prosper and impact the lives of someone who needs our help today. Are you good? You're good. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you again next week.